a flat clip of him basically saying what a Marvel Rivals needs in 2026 to be better. And one thing that stuck out to me was that he said pretty much every character needed a huge nerf. Some characters that were like really weak, he said they needed a buff, but it was just a few. So I wanted to go through a few characters that I think need heavy nerfs, and if not reworks. But first of all, I want to start off with this. I don't even have the words. Cloak and Dagger. I have never seen a more infuriating, brain dead, brain mush slop of a character. It's worse than Penny. It's worse than Namor. Every single ability is done for you. And now I understand, there needs to be characters that are easy and low skill floor and low skill ceiling, but she has insane value. That's the problem. And then we buff her. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put her back at 250. Please put her back at 250. 275 is egregious, out of this world. For Cloak and Dagger, a character that is absolutely easy with some of the freest high value in this entire game, and you put her at 275. No. God, no. Revert that right back to 250. Because her survivability, and it's insane. I don't want to go on and on, but she absolutely needs to be at 250. I would go so far to say it's crucial that this type of character needs to be at 250. Next, we have Invis. Okay, I've never hated a character more in my life. That's probably not true, but you get my point. This character, wow. Okay, wow. I don't know what kind of black magic kind of gods Invis woman prayed to, but her basically having 500 HP and the DPS output of a high tier DPS character needs to change. To put it simply, we can say Invis, let's lower her DPS. First of all, she doesn't need to be doing that much damage. Lower every single ability's DPS. It doesn't need to be that way. It just doesn't. Okay, it just doesn't. Next, we can keep her at 275. That's fine. That she's not like Cloak. Okay, it's different. I would instead say lower her shield health, because that's the main problem, right? Is that if you really want to keep her being able to shield herself, which is insane, we need to lower the shield HP. I would say down to like 100. Not 150. I would say down to like 100. Next we can go on to Rocket. Okay, I hate this little rat. I don't think anyone likes the rat. I mean it. I hate this rat. I want him to stop being a heal bot. I don't like heal bots. I like interactive gameplay. I like when players think and use their brain. I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing people get creative. I don't enjoy seeing people sit 5 miles back in spawn and bouncing their heals off the wall and somehow getting 50 assists, 27,000 healing, and somehow 5 kills. I would say make his heals have drop off. Not insane drop off, but just enough so he can't sit so far back. Because we already have a brain dead character, Cloak. We don't need, like, we have Jeff, he's really easy. And then we have Cloak, and then we have Rocket. Ultron's also pretty easy for his heals specifically. He just puts the drone in you and that's it. Invis is pretty dang easy. It's just not hard. So, I think it keeps his identity while making it a bit, you have to use your brain a bit more. You can't just sit at spawn. I'm sick of seeing Rocket players sit at spawn. your hardiness needs to be punished. So the takeaway from the strategist role is nerf cloak and invis. Everyone else, I don't really care about. I think we can make Adam Warlock move a bit slower, but that's about it. Duelist. Okay. Now let's see. Black Panther. I'm just gonna give one buff or one nerf to, because there's so many DPS. I would make his dashes go farther. I would just rework her entirely. I would remove his gun and make him an actual proper melee character. Make him not get over shield, and I would make his some of his abilities do less damage. Not all, but some. He's not debuted yet. Hawkeye, remove his one. Remove the headshot. Like, remove the one shot. Make him headshot, but don't let him one-shot characters anymore. Just remove it. If you're not going to give Black Widow a one-shot, then don't give it to Hawkeye. Plain and simple. Hela, I would remove the 25 health she gets from the bird, and I would shorten the distance she can go with the bird. Human Torch, I will say... You know what? I want his... where you can connect the fireballs on the ground. Make that cooldown faster, because that's one thing he's really good at, and it can farm his ult really easily. And I think it'll make him not impossible to go against, but it'll because right now he's close to being viable again, but he's not quite there, but he's close. We just have to find the right thing to not make him OP again, but not make him useless. Fist, I would make him a proper dive. Get rid of the percentage base damage, and I would say raise the kick damage, but make it go farther less. So it's not an escape tool, it's an attack tool to make him a proper dive. Iron Man, I would say let's just break his legs. I don't like seeing Iron Man fly now. I think we can lower the unibeam damage at full charge. He deletes 250 to 275 characters in about 2 seconds when he has his fully charged thing, his armor pack up. We either lower the damage or we lower how long it lasts, because it's incredibly powerful for a cooldown that's not that long. Like, speaking from a DPS standpoint and a flyer standpoint. Magic. She's in a pretty good spot, but if we're nerfing her, we can remove her getting remove her getting faster portals from the slash. It's so useless. It's hardly noticeable. And if not that, I would say buff her base movement speed, but then make her let's see, this is interesting. Let me see her abilities real quick. Stepping discs. Maybe we touch this. Ooh, we can touch this. No, we already touched this. This is already weaker. I don't know. Magic is a hard thing to balance right now, because she's in a precarious spot where if you buff her, she's OP, but if you nerf her, she's useless. Maybe we just don't touch her. Mr. Fantastic. He's also kind of in that spot. So maybe we don't touch him either. Moon Knight. Lower his damage. Outright. Minus 8% damage. Minus 8. Remove the team up. Minus 8% base damage. And I would say make the Ankh cooldown longer. He should not be spamming those out for as strong as they are. They can CC, they can auto-aim, and that's not okay. Namor. I want Namor's face bashed in. I want his arms broken. I want his legs twisted backwards. I want his head just popped off like a cherry. I hate this character. So what we're going to do to Namor is we're going to remove the squids, and we're going to remove his weapon. And he's going to be a melee character that does 5 damage a shot. And that is what we'll do for him. Phoenix, let's say... let's just... I like her when she was a bit of a brawl hit scan. I enjoyed that playstyle. So make her do less damage from farther away. They buffed it and made her do more damage from farther away, but that was stupid. That was so dumb. Just make her a brawl hit scan. It was really unique. Psylocke. We can lower her alt damage and increase her... Either increase her primary damage, make her do more damage from farther away, or we increase the wind shurikens that return to you. We increase those damage back to normal. Okay, I think that's a good trade-off, because right now, she's fun. There's a way to play her, but she got slaughtered. Okay, you can't disagree that her identity got twisted. It got twisted up. It got all jacked up, and now she's just kind of a fly, which is it's not cool, man. Scarlet Witch, I would make her primary do less damage because it's auto aim. I don't like any auto aim, okay? As you can probably tell, auto aim is pathetic. So just lower her primary damage straight up. Spider-Man. I would buff the damage on his what do you call it? When he zips to you and it's like a, I would buff that damage, but make that cooldown longer. So he can do a lot more, but he has to time it right. Swordgirl, lower her damage. Star-Lord, make him do less damage from far away and raise his alt cost. Because he's the thing about Star-Lord is he's an alt farmer, but he can also do too much without his alt. So he's everything. He can do it all. And a lot of people haven't noticed this, but he can do it all. He does not need his ult, but if he has his ult, it's even better. Storm, I would make her projectile just hit scan. Genuinely, just make it so fast it's hit scan. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think we just need to buff her primary speed, and that's all I would do. She's in a really good spot with her damage boost buff, but I think the projectile is a little... It's like a joke. It's just a joke. So buff the speed. Punisher... He's really easy to dive, so you have to be careful. I would make Punisher... Make his turret have less health, and make his gun have less bullets but reload faster. Winter Soldier, Bucky. I've actually talked about this before. I want Bucky to only have one ability that gives him overshield. Keep all of his abilities, but only make one give him overshield. And make his ult charge higher, so he has to do more damage to get his ult, because right now he's an ult farmer too. And he can probably be 250. It's either, okay, there's two paths. Either we make one ability give him overshield, or we keep all the overshield but we lower his base HP. Wolverine. Wolverine can stay where he is. That's fine. Now we move on to tank. Angela. I would buff her base damage on the spear and the axes. Mostly the axes. I really wish Angela was a main tank. However, she's not. But her axes are useless. No one ever wants to stay on the ground as Angela, and that's... I mean, it's how we figured out how to play her, but I feel like we can just buff her base damage on the axes. And I would also, if not that, what I want is the full charge bar to give 2 fully charged hits with the spear, not the axes, but with the spear, or we buff the damage again. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. Because right now she's she's in a good spot, but a lot of people, she's easily countered. Like, a lot of people don't realize she's really bad, but if she does well, it's mostly because the enemy players suck. They're just not playing well because she isn't hard to counter. And it's you know, it's one of those characters that require communication to counter and good player skill to counter. For example, aim. So if you're complaining about Angela, it just shows that you don't talk to the team or you don't have good aim. Like, that's pretty much what it says. Hulk. I would give Hulk more damage on punches, but increase the ult cost. He's never gonna ult if he does that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't increase the ult cost. Actually, if he's gonna have more primary damage, we kind of need to, but honestly, that's how I'd buff him. Is just increase the primary damage. I don't know about how much, but increase it. Captain America. I would say let him spam his shield, but lower the HP. So he can spam it as much as he wants. But it has less damage, but it can also regenerate faster. So it's kind of like it's destroyed really easily. And so you have to take advantage of him not having a shield. Let's see. Doctor Strange. I would lower his shield HP, and I would also add a 1-second cooldown to his shield. I hate seeing Doctor Strange's spam his shield, and I'm Lord Doctor Strange. So I spam it a lot, and I'm sick of it. I think it's dumb. Emma Frost, I think is in an okay space. I would honestly buff her by making her Diamond 4 cooldown faster. I think they made it too long. Groot is in an okay spot. Magneto, I would probably... It's a little hard because he's one of the few main tanks, so I won't touch him. Penny, make her mines do less damage. Rogue, buff her primary damage. God, please, can we buff her primary damage? Goodness. She does melee. She does about melee damage on almost every single one of her abilities. It's ridiculous. Thing, I would buff his base HP, honestly. We either have to buff his base HP or make him able to give himself overshield like Venom does. Thor, I would say let's nerf his primary damage. No, I'm kidding. I want to move him back to original Thor. I don't want him to be a lightning spammer. What I want is to see him be a proper brawler where we increase his primary damage, lower the lightning damage, and make his ult cost more, because he can get it kind of fast if you use the lightning a lot. Venom, I would say make his web swing quicker, but make him able to be CC'd more. I'm kidding. I'm joking. You know what? I wonder how it would be if he could be CC immune when he has his overshield activated for like 2 seconds. It's either that or it make his primary fire easier to hit. Alright, well that's every character in the game, and I think that it was pretty reasonable. Let me know what you think.